Hi guys, it's Brigitte, and I am coming to you today with a Teach Me Tuesday video for MB Treasurista, who is Misty, and her shop is mbtreasurista.com. Now, I got to really thinking about how much money I spend on like embellishments, whether it be journaling spots, project life stuff, which I haven't even started. I don't even know if I plan on starting that kind of stuff, but like those types of journaling cards, banners, little tidbits, and maybe this has been done already, but I just wanted to show you how maybe we can all spend or save a little bit by using the stuff we have to make our own pockets, journal pages, tidbits, with the stuff that we already have. And whatever you do with the money you save is, your business, I guess. Scrappy stuff, other stuff, whatever it is. Anyway, I just thought we spend a lot of money on packages like this. Stuff like this, which is all great stuff, and obviously we don't have professional machines that can print this stuff for us, but we certainly do have tools, ink, stamps, paper cutters, that could very well do the same thing. So a couple of my inspirations came from this, which is Bag of Bits. It's a Lily Bee product. Everybody has them. October Afternoon has it. Everybody has their own miscellany, Bag of Bits, whatever they call it. They're little embellishments. So what I did was I took some of these out and thought, well, why can't I do these with all of the pattern paper that I have? Now, you guys want to, maybe close your ears when I say I throw out my scraps, because if I trip over any more little packages of scraps, I just can't deal. So if I figured if the paper's big enough, I could very well replicate this, which now I don't know why it's so dark in here, but let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. So I have a 2-inch scallop circle. It could be a regular circle, it could be scalloped, it could be smaller, it could be bigger. And what I did was I took, let's see, I took a piece of My Mind's Eye, I don't remember what it's called now, but in those little 6x6 paper pads, I punched it out, and then I stamped it with this stamp set, which is, these are all separate things. So I took the I and the am, and then it's an instant journaling spot. You can put that next to something, you can put it on a card like this, you can layer it over a picture. And then what I did was I punched out with the same punch, just a regular, with the pattern paper, a regular scalloped circle. So I thought, well, gee, I mean, it really looks no different than that. And then what I did was I took a piece of ledger paper that I had. I think this is crepe paper. This is a bigger sheet of it. And I made one of the banners. So let's just take this simple one. Sorry about that. So you see, this one is the Lily Bee, and this one is mine. This banner is the Lily Bee banner. And now I cut mine a little bit smaller, but you know, I was working with scraps. So that one is mine. Now, so what did I do? I have millions of banner dies, you know, die cut the actual dies. But if you don't, and you say, well, let me just buy the bag of bits, it's very simple. You take any piece. This is just, I'm not going to cut it down just to show you. It's about an inch, a little over an inch and a quarter. And I'm just going to cut it down a little bit. And instead of getting a die, or if you're lazy like me and you don't want to get your die out, or you don't have a die, you can just cut it like that. Take the corner to the corner that you cut. And then take the other corner. And there you go. So you have a banner. Now you can stamp on this again, to, from, or you know, any of your little stamps that have a lot of little words on them. We all have those stamps, you know, whatever brand they are. We all have little sayings. So I just thought, you know, those all look like they can come out of the bag and no one would ever know. So that's one idea. And then I got to thinking about pockets and tag pockets, mini pockets, this and that. And, oh, one other thing. See these? These are journaling cards, or like Rolodex cards. What I did was, I took a piece of paper, I measured it, I measured this one, and I rounded the corners with my corner chomper. And then I had a little tab die, which you don't even have to, you can just completely trace it. And I made my own of these. Now I could have started with a white piece of paper and done all that stamping, but this is the way it turned out. So these are easy ways that you could really look around, and if you feel pressure, like you want to have what everybody else has and you want to just make it easy and spend the money and buy these, it's so much easier to use up your paper. And you know, your paper 9 times out of 10 is prettier than what comes in here. I mean, not to knock a certain company, I'm just, you know, it's doable is what I'm saying. So what I did here was I made a pocket out of a tag that I had. These are the really large tags. I think they're like 6 by 8. No, that's so wrong. 4 1/4 by like 8.5, I think. So how did I make this? Really easy. What was the inspiration for this? This package right here. I mean, this just happens to be the holiday one from Simple Stories, but you know, you have different sizes. You have the small ones here. You have a really big one. So what I did was I took the same size piece of paper as this, cut it down. Now, if you wanted to round the corners or square them off like a tag, you could. What I did was, since I'm going to flip it this way, I took the other side of the paper and started, let me just make sure. So now you have that. And I really kind of eyeballed it. I mean, it depends on how big you want your pocket to be. So, oops. You can either go ahead and score this on your scoreboard, or do it the lazy way like I do. I hate to say that, but anyway. And there you go. Now you're going to say, well, how do I seal it? Because you're going to lose all this space. You could either seal it with wet glue right along the edges, and when you stick a tag in, it won't, you know, stick to the sides. You could use your ATG, and, you know, depending on how big the tag is you put in there. Let me go ahead and round the corners. You know, it might get stuck to the side and it might not. But what I did also was on this one, I don't know if you can see that, but I made a hinge. I don't know if you can see that in there. That's hinged. Now, you can make them any size you want. There's no rule. I have one here. I also had made one this size. What I did was, whatever measurement this was, I took it and put it up against the scoreboard, and I looked for a middle spot. Instead of measuring, I just gauged with my eye where the middle was and scored it. So then I folded it over, and let's see, that looks about right. You know, you eyeball it, you cut it, and then I just cut it again like this. That's not going to be straight. And again, oh my goodness, you can glue it, which I'm going to do right now. Okay, maybe it's clogged. All right. Anyway, I don't know where the pin is to get it out, but what you do is you glue it, then you put it down there. Now you see, you can maybe see that peeking through the scallop. You can just simply go, cut it down, and then put this in here. Now what that does is it gives the tag a little bit of leeway, and it doesn't stick to the sides. So when you insert the tag, the hinges catch it so that you're not struggling to pull the tag in and out. So that's another thing that I was playing around with. And then just to give you an example, I basically took a 2.5 by 3.5 piece of pattern paper, rounded the corners, and I made it so that you could easily stamp something here. Let's see, we'll just use black ink for now. And doesn't that just look like you took it out of a package and it's ready to use on Project Life or journaling spot in a mini? So just like that, you've made your own spot. And I made one of these. I took a background stamp, the script, and then I stamped it first, and then I took a balloon stamp and then stamped over it. Rounded the corners again. So that's a different version. I took this pointer stamp, fussy cut it out, and you could either use it like that or I mounted it on the same chevron paper, very neutral background, and you've made your own little embellishment. So one other thing that I thought was really neat was what if you could just make your own Polaroid packets? And what I did was I took a stamp set by Studio Calico and I measured what the Polaroid looked like. So here's the one that I made, and here's the one that you can buy. Now you could do this with a craft knife if you don't have a die, but what I did was I took a 2 3/4 by 7-inch piece of cardstock. You could, if you don't have stamps, you could make it a pattern paper. And then I folded it. Again, you can use your scoreboard or the lazy way like I do. And then what you can do is, let me fold it this way. Take, this one is Classic Squares Large. If you don't have one of these, you can easily take a ruler and a craft knife and kind of, pencil mark it and do it yourself. So let me just see if I have room here to put my Big Shot. Okay. Then I took the fold out, and just like the spot here where they have for you, I left it, I kind of eyeballed it. Sorry this video is so long. I'm working on 3 different things, so all of my surfaces are completely taken. So I'm working on this little square here. And what do you have? Let's see. Might be a little crooked, but you'll get the picture anyway. And there you go. So you can distress it, add a picture in there, glue it up, and then you have an instant little Polaroid embellishment. So I hope that this can inspire you to maybe use some of your stamps. Play around. If it doesn't work, it's just paper. You haven't, really done anything except, I know it's upsetting when you feel like you've wasted your time or, But just play around with white paper if you don't want to waste your pattern paper. And then if it works, at least you have a template to go off of. So you see? So that's it. I hope that this was informative and not repetitive. I hope that maybe you learned something new and you'll try to make your own spots. And if you have any questions as to what I used, I'd be more than happy to help you. And I want to thank you for sticking around for the video. Okay, bye.